If you are watching this, it means you are tired of the endless pressure to be somebody. You are exhausted by the constant demands to improve, to grow, and to achieve. The good news is that you don't have to do any of that. Achieving greatness is profoundly difficult. It requires sacrifice, discipline, and an almost pathological tolerance for pain. Failing, on the other hand, is incredibly easy. It is the default state of human existence. It requires nothing more than gravity and the passage of time. So, instead of fighting a losing battle against your own nature, I am going to teach you how to lean into it. I am going to give you the definitive, step-by-step manual on how to construct a perfectly mediocre life, free from the burden of potential. If you follow these pillars with dedication, I guarantee that 10 years from now, you will be exactly where you are today, only older, bitterer, and more comfortable in your stagnation. The first and most crucial pillar of the loser's life is the sanctity of someday. You must firmly believe that the present moment is never the right time to act. The conditions are never perfect. You are too tired, too busy, or too underprepared. The master of mediocrity knows that someday is a magical, distant land where all their dreams will spontaneously manifest without effort. Someday you will write that book. Someday you will get in shape. Someday you will start that business. By perpetually deferring action to a theoretical future, you get to enjoy the dopamine rush of having a goal without suffering the indignity of actually working for it. You become a professional planner, an architect of castles in the sky. You buy the notebooks, you download the apps, you watch the tutorials, and you feel tremendously productive. Yet, you never lay a single brick in the real world. Protect your someday at all costs. For if you ever attempt to make it today, you risk the terrifying possibility of failure. It is far safer to remain a potential success than a confirmed failure. The second pillar is the mastery of distraction. The modern world is a buffet of cheap dopamine designed to keep you docile and sedated, and you must gorge yourself on it. Your phone is not a tool. It is a pacifier for your existential dread. Every time you feel a twinge of boredom, anxiety, or the urge to do something difficult, you must immediately soothe it with a screen. Scroll until your thumb aches. Binge-watch entire seasons of mediocre television in a single sitting. Get into arguments with strangers on the internet about topics that have zero impact on your actual life. These activities are essential because they consume the two things you cannot afford to have if you want to remain a loser: time and attention. A focused mind is a dangerous thing. It might accidentally create something of value. A distracted mind is a safe mind. It is too busy processing useless information to ever formulate a coherent plan for escape. Keep your brain comfortably numb with a steady diet of digital junk food. Third, you must cultivate an unbreakable victim identity. This is the crown jewel of the underachiever's mindset. You must internalize the belief that your current circumstances are entirely the result of external forces beyond your control. If you are broke, it is the economy's fault. If you are unhappy, it is your parents' fault. If you aren't advancing in your career, it is your boss's fault. By outsourcing responsibility for your life, you also outsource the power to change it. This is a profoundly comforting trade. It allows you to sit in the wreckage of your own bad decisions and feel morally superior to the people who are actually building something. You get to be the noble martyr, the tragic hero in a story where the world is conspiring against you. Find other victims and validate each other's excuses. Build a community around your shared powerlessness. There is a deep, dark warmth in the herd of the hopeless. Fourth, you must worship at the altar of social conformity. The greatest fear of the mediocre person is being different. To ensure you never rise above the average, you must carefully calibrate your ambitions, your opinions, and your actions to match those of the people around you. If your friends spend their weekends drinking and complaining, you must spend your weekends drinking and complaining. If your colleagues are cynical and disengaged, you must be cynical and disengaged. Do not, under any circumstances, express an original thought or pursue an unconventional goal. Doing so might expose you to criticism, ridicule, or, worst of all, the envy of those who were too afraid to try. It is much safer to hide in the middle of the pack, protected by the camouflage of sameness. Seek validation only from people who are as stuck as you are. Their approval is the glue that holds your stagnation together. Finally, the fifth pillar is the good enough trap. This is the subtle art of settling. When you try something and achieve a minimal level of competence, you must immediately stop improving. You have a job that pays the bills just enough to keep you off the street. Good enough. You have a relationship that is tolerably functional but devoid of passion. Good enough. You have a body that isn't actively failing but is far from healthy. Good enough. The pursuit of excellence is exhausting and risky. The acceptance of good enough is comfortable and safe. It requires no extra effort, no difficult conversations, and no confrontation with your own limitations. Embrace the soft cushion of mediocrity. Why strive for the peak when the valley is so much less demanding? Now, let's take a look in the cold mirror of reality. If you follow this manual, where does it lead? It doesn't lead to a dramatic, explosive failure. That would be too interesting. It leads to a slow, quiet, and comfortable erosion of your soul. 10 years from now, you will wake up in the same bed, in the same town, working the same job you hate, surrounded by the same people who reinforce your excuses. The only difference will be that you are 10 years older, 10 pounds heavier, and 1,000 times more bitter. The dreams you once had will have calcified into regrets. You will look at people who took risks and succeeded not with admiration, but with a poisonous mix of jealousy and resentment, convincing yourself they just got lucky. You will have successfully preserved your ego by never putting it to the test, but you will have lost your life in the process. You will die at 25 but won't be buried until 75. Here is the hard truth. You are the author of this manual. Every day, with every small decision to choose comfort over growth, distraction over focus, and fear over action, you are writing another page. The bars of your cage are not made of iron. They are made of your own excuses. No one is coming to save you. The economy doesn't care about you. Your boss doesn't care about you. The universe is indifferent to your existence. You are entirely, terrifyingly alone in the cockpit of your own life. If you want a different outcome, you have to burn the manual. You have to embrace the pain of discipline, the terror of risk, and the humiliation of being a beginner. You have to stop waiting for permission and start taking what is yours. The path to a meaningful life is paved with everything you are currently avoiding. So, make a choice. Stay comfortable in your meticulously constructed failure, or step out into the cold, hard reality of your potential. The door is unlocked. You just have to turn the handle.